Let me ask you something, and don't answer too fast. Because once you hear this, you can't unhear it. Did you know that every single Christmas, the United States military tracks Santa Claus? Yes, the same people who monitor missiles, the same people who track fighter jets, the same people who watch national airspace 24 hours a day. Also, sit down every December and track a man in a red suit flying through the sky with reindeer. This is not a meme, this is not a movie, this is real. And they have been doing this for more than 70 years. The organization responsible is called NORAD. That stands for North American Aerospace Defense Command. Their actual job is very serious. Protect the skies over the United States and Canada. Detect unknown aircraft, monitor potential threats, watch anything that enters the atmosphere. Very intense work. Very high pressure, very professional. And then, once a year, they add one more mission. Track Santa Claus. Now here is where it gets wild. This entire tradition did not start on purpose. It started because of one mistake. Back in the 1950s, a department store ran a Christmas advertisement. The ad told kids they could call Santa directly. A magical phone call, straight to the North Pole, except someone printed the wrong phone number. Instead of Santa, kids started calling a military command center. Let that sink in. A real military phone line ringing. And on the other end, a child says, "Hi Santa, imagine being that officer. You are trained for national security. You expect emergencies. You expect serious business, and suddenly, a 5-year-old asks about presents. At that moment, everything could have ended. They could have hung up. They could have said, wrong number. They could have crushed the dreams of a generation. But instead, the officer paused and said, yes, Santa is doing fine. That single sentence changed everything. More kids called, more officers answered, and slowly, the worst wrong number in retail history turned into the best Christmas tradition ever. By the time NORAD officially existed, Santa tracking was already part of December. And once something becomes a tradition, especially a Christmas tradition, you cannot stop it. If they stopped today, millions of kids would be confused. Parents would panic, and Christmas would feel just a little bit broken. So NORAD leaned into it hard. They created maps, they built animations, they launched an official Santa Tracker website, they even set up a hotline so people around the world could call and ask one simple question: where is Santa right now? And yes, real humans answer those calls. That is someone's job. Hello, this is NORAD. Santa is currently over Europe. Totally normal. According to NORAD, Santa's journey is massive. He visits every continent, he crosses every time zone, he delivers gifts to the entire planet in a single night. Asia, Europe, Africa, the Americas, all before sunrise. That makes Santa faster than Amazon, faster than FedEx, faster than every delivery app combined. And somehow, he never loses a package. NORAD explains this. With impressive confidence, they talk about radar, satellites, infrared sensors, tracking technology. Is it all real? Not exactly. But the presentation is completely serious. Somewhere in a control room, a grown adult is pointing at a screen and calmly saying, Santa has entered Canadian airspace. And nobody laughs, because this is Christmas. But here is the best part. Everyone knows this is ridiculous, and everyone agrees to take it seriously anyway. That is the magic. No sarcasm, no jokes inside the system, no one breaking character. They commit fully. When NORAD says, Santa is approaching your region, they say it like it matters. Because for one night, it does. There are volunteers involved. Real people sitting at desks, answering phones, explaining Santa's location with complete confidence. They do this for hours, smiling, repeating the same answers, because on the other end of the line is excitement, pure excitement, and that is rare, especially now. The tracker itself has become surprisingly advanced. It shows Santa's speed, his altitude, the number of gifts delivered, a number that increases so fast, it makes calculators nervous. At some point, the numbers stop making sense, but nobody cares. Because logic left the building, the moment reindeer took off, and somehow, this tradition survived the internet. Think about that. The internet ruins everything. Mystery, magic, surprises, all destroyed by comments. Yet this survived. Because it shows up once a year, does its job, and disappears. No drama, no controversy, no algorithm panic. Just vibes. Parents love it because it buys time. Kids love it because it feels real, and adults love it because it reminds them what believing felt like. Even for a second, there is also something quietly funny about how official everything looks. Military logos, formal language, clean graphics, all used to explain a man breaking every law of physics. And nobody blinks. At no point does anyone say, wait a minute. They just nod. Of course, Santa is moving at impossible speed. Of course, the reindeer glow on infrared sensors. Of course, this makes sense. Because Christmas. Every year, the same pattern repeats. Excitement builds. Screens light up. Parents whisper. Kids negotiate sleep. Someone always tries to stay awake. Someone always fails. And somewhere, a tracker quietly updates. There is one rule that never changes. Santa only comes when you are asleep. So if you are awake at 3 a.m., refreshing the tracker, listening closely, that noise outside is not Santa. It is your own poor life choices. And then, just like that, the night ends. Santa finishes his route, the tracker shuts down, the maps go dark, and the world moves on until next year, when once again, the most powerful military systems on the planet will quietly, respectfully, track a flying man in a red suit, and honestly, in a world full of bad news. This might be the most wholesome thing the military does all year. Now go to sleep. Santa is busy, and here is something even funnier. For one night every year, the world quietly agrees to suspend reality. Adults pretend not to notice, governments pretend this is normal, and kids pretend to sleep while secretly listening. No one questions the logic. No one asks for proof, because proof is not the point. Belief is. For a few hours, the world runs on imagination, on hope, on tradition, on a flying man who somehow delivers joy more efficiently than modern logistics. And maybe that is why this works, because it is the opposite of everything else. It is slow. It is predictable. It shows up once a year and never overstays. It does not argue. It does not sell outrage. It does not ask you to pick a side. It just exists. And that is rare. Somewhere tonight, a kid is staring at a screen, watching a red dot move. Somewhere else, a parent is pretending this is all for the kids. And somewhere in a control room, someone is smiling while answering the same question again. Yes, Santa is on schedule. No breaking character. No explanation. Just commitment. And when the night is over, nothing needs to be said. The tracker shuts down, the magic powers off, and everyone quietly agrees we will do this again next year. Because some traditions are worth protecting, even if they make no sense, especially if they make no sense. Now seriously, close your eyes, stop refreshing, go to sleep. He's already on his way.